Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Healing Sexual Trauma Summit. I am Marcy Little, your host, and we have here today Cynthia James. Cynthia, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be with you.
Yay, we are too. Before we start picking Cynthia's brain, we will just take a moment to get ourselves settled in. All right. So I invite you to simply feel your body in contact with whatever you're sitting on, and your feet in contact with the floor if they're on the floor. And then just notice what's happening in your breath. And see if by noticing it begins to deepen or settle. And you can even take an audible exhale. It feels really good to do that sometimes. Yeah, right? Okay. Throughout our summit, feel free to open your eyes and come on back. I invite you to do this at any point. If something happens and you notice yourself feeling overwhelmed or triggered in any way, or your body suddenly tightens up, hit pause and just take a moment, get back into a place that feels relaxed so that you can take in Cynthia's wonderful wisdom, and come back and join us. We'll be right here. Okay, without further ado, here we go. So Cynthia James, I'm going to read a little bit here about you. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Here we go. Cynthia is a transformational coach and inspirational leader, guiding people to make changes at a deep level for lasting healing. Cynthia excels as a speaker, coach, singer, and multiple award-winning author of What Will Set You Free and Revealing Your Extraordinary Essence, and #1 bestseller for I Choose Me, The Art of Being a Phenomenally Successful Woman at Home and at Work. Cynthia James embodies the quote, "I am not what I have done, I am what I have become." And she leads others to do the same. Her own life was transformed as she transcended a violent and abusive childhood. Through education and personal healing, she created the foundation for all her programs. Her work in self-care strategies and emotional integration support leaders, women, and organizations internationally. Cynthia, anything else you'd like to add? She'd like us
No,
to
I think you did a good job.
So that covers it?
It covers it, yeah.
You know, I love your story and I loved watching your TED Talk. And I feel like when we figure out how to really come into our own bodies, our own essences, and in a way that's truly powerful, as you clearly have done, it is the gift that we have then to give others. Uh-oh, did you just freeze? So Cynthia froze for just a second, so I'm going to pick up here. I'm not sure if she heard the last thing I said. I was just talking about how, as someone who has figured out basically and how to really embody their own essence in a powerful way that you have, we then have that to offer the people that we work with. And I see that so strongly in you. Yeah. So I'm curious, I know that you are in many summits and that people reach out to you all the time because you're such an enigmatic and wonderful person. So what made you say yes to being part of this summit, the Healing Sexual Trauma Summit?
You know, I came from a very dramatic, violent childhood. My biological father was an alcoholic. My stepfather was a wife beater and a pedophile. And so I began being molested when I was like 5 years old. And it lasted for a couple of years until my uncle came and rescued my mother and I. And I come from 5 generations of women who've been abused and traumatized. And so I didn't, I really believe that everything that has happened to us leads us to our destiny, the purpose that we are here to fulfill. And so I would not want anyone to have the experiences I had as a child, but I'm very clear that everything that happened to me is a part of why I do the work that I do today. I believe that trauma and abuse has been rampant in our culture from the beginning. I think we got very sophisticated at hiding it and not acknowledging it. And so there are a lot of wounded people walking this planet right this moment. And there are opportunities like this summit that give them an opportunity to come forward, speak their truth, be seen and be heard. And so I want to be a part of that conversation.
And thank you so much for sharing all of that. It's such a personal story that you began with, and I couldn't help but touch my heart to hear that, because there's tremendous pain in what you've been through, and the tremendous gifts that you said you've come out of all of that on the other side. And it's your line, right? I am not what I have done or what's been done to me, but
Exactly.
what I've become.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
I
Yeah.
think we all have it within us. We are all here to become our highest self, our most brilliant, our most powerful, dynamic self. But in order to do that, we have to face the things that are within us that challenge us and choose differently.
Mhm. Yeah, I sometimes think about it for myself as like, um, when there's undigested or unhealed trauma from, say, my mom or her mom's mom, it's all still right here. And
Yes.
it's sort of like the legacy that we live on our planet for the next generation. You know, that idea that we do our work and we think 7 generations ahead, you know, the Native American wisdom. Like, it's like we do our healing of our own trauma. We heal for the next generations. We heal for the past generations.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah. And that sounds like what you've been working at. So you're freezing occasionally. If you freeze again, we'll just come back in and out. I hope it doesn't keep happening. So we kind of touched on this, but I'm wondering,
Yep.
um, oh, coming in and out.
Mhm.
All right, welcome back, Cynthia. We're coming in and out. That may just happen a couple times, but maybe it gave you a chance to pause. Um, and if so, good on you. All right. So Cynthia, one of the things we were going to talk about is this really important truth that you embody, which is the past does not define us. And I'm wondering if you could speak about that. What does it mean, and what does it
Yeah,
mean
I'd be
for
happy.
you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to speak about that because what I know is that we all have life experiences. We all come through different circumstances and events, and a lot of times we get stuck in those experiences and those transformative moments, and we think that they define us, that we think that that's who we are. But the truth is that we're evolutionary. And the truth is that we get to choose who we come here to be. And we get to choose that, that our lives are not some predestined thing, that we are the captains of our own ships. And so, when in my TED Talk, I talk about, the women in my family abused, traumatized, a lot of dysfunctional behavior and belief systems. And it was told to us over and over and over, I call it the kitchen table wisdom, that over and over that, you're not safe, keep your head down, you're a Black woman, all of those kinds of things. And we've all heard those things from varying degrees in our lives. But the thing is like, but, I love 12 steps because it's like one day at a time. So who are you today? Who do you want to be today? How do you want to show up today? What kind of people do you want in your life today? And so for me, the exciting thing is that I get to decide, how I want to identify myself, and how do I want to show up, and how do I want to um, reveal myself in the world. And I think that everybody has that opportunity. It doesn't matter where you come from, and it doesn't matter what you've experienced. You get to say, what do I want today? Who am I today?
Yeah. I mean, do you have days when it's hard to do that?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I don't know how, because I'm human. What's up with that? I mean, it's like, but yes, but you know what? That's why you have tools. That's why, I tell my clients, listen, my job is to get you not to need me. My job is to give you enough tools that you can learn to take care of yourself. And yes, you can float in and out and we can work together, but that you have enough day to day that when you get out of alignment or out of sync, you have a way to bring yourself back to center.
What's your go-to tool?
Well, first of all, I have a 45 minute to an hour spiritual practice every morning. It's a non-negotiable. I also move my body every day because I know that I need to have that energy flowing, because then that way I get to listen to my intuitive knowing. I get to make decisions from a clear space as opposed from anxiety or trying to force things.
Mhm. Got it. So a practice where you're sitting with yourself and it's
Yeah, I mean, I sit, I meditate, I write, I journal. I ask myself a series of questions because I really believe the universe answers questions. And so I'm very conscious about the kind of questions I ask. And I also affirm, who I've come here to be. And I do that every morning before I get up.
It's kind of like eating the right breakfast.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, there's in Buddhism, I think they talk about it's like cleaning your mirror.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like getting a true fresh start every single day. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, because, if in fact we are divine energies, which I believe we are, and the universe is timeless, there's no time and space, then we've always been wonderful. We've always been powerful. We've always been dynamic. We just get to claim it.
Got it. So the practices and the tools help make space for claiming that.
Yes.
And it has to be regular. It has to be like claiming it every day.
Absolutely.
Right. You can't just claim it one time and be like, okay, I got this and I'm done.
Oh, yeah, that's like, you go to the gym, you look good, and then you don't ever have to do it again. That doesn't work.
I love it. Okay. So another thing that you love to talk about is the importance of our mindset and how we have the capacity to shift that.
Yeah. I mean, I love the science that's out now that's really telling us that when we have a negative thought or negative feeling, it drops a chemical in the body, a cortisol or adrenaline that starts to create a neural path that, that we start to think and feel the same way, that we're not supported, we're not enough, whatever it is, And then on the other side, when you're in the positive state of mind, oxytocin, and you are dropping bliss hormones, and you're feeling empowered and strong and clear. And so the thing about a mindset is it's like really it's choice. There is when you are in a place of discomfort or transition or any of those kinds of feelings, it's really a choice point. And the choice point is, are you going to give in to the fear, the anxiety, the lack of trust, the habituation and the overdoing, or are you going to choose to be authentic and dedicated and excited and enthusiastic or in trust? And those kinds of choices, you have to practice, because we're bombarded with energy every day telling us how bad things are and how things can't work and all of that. And so you have to choose to open your mind and open your availability to goodness. And that's where I think affirmations come in. That's where meditations come in. That's where music comes in. That's where journaling comes in, so that you have things that just keep you on track in the positive state of mind. Not that you don't feel, not that you don't have things that can kind of knock you to the side, but you get to choose to get back on track by having the ability to say, I am more than this. I am powerful. I am here to do great things. I choose excitement and enthusiasm and I high noticing of life.
Yeah, and those neural pathways, It's like when we're used to traveling a pathway and it's been in our system our whole life and it's been in our family system for generations. That's like a main highway that's running right across the country.
That's right. Yes. And so you have to practice, I mean, you have to really do things. I have vision maps around my house. I have all kinds of things that say, you know, remind yourself of who you are.
Mhm. Right. And it's an important distinction you're making, that it's not like we're cutting ourselves off from feeling. For example, something occurs and it makes you really sad. Well, then
Right.
then there's sadness. So it's not the
Yeah.
same thing as not having our feelings when they arise naturally, because life is filled with bumps and we get bruised and we're tender beings. But it's like when there's a conditioned sort of mental construct is what you're talking about, that keeps us from living our full potential. Am I saying this right? Does
Yeah,
this resonate for you?
you are. The thing is, it's like, I believe the universe holds polarities, light and dark,
Mhm.
and so yes, you can have this experience of sadness or loss or grieving, and at the same time know that you're loved and know that there's support and know that you're guidance. It's in the same container. So yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
right. Like that's a natural offshoot, a natural part of being a full living being here on the planet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, okay. Thanks for talking about that. Do you have like a go-to mantra that you find yourself using at certain times?
I have always been joyous this day. I am a blessed being.
One more time.
I have always been joyous this day. I am a blessed being.
I am a blessed being. I love that. I have always been joyous this day. I am a blessed being. I want our listeners to say that. Say it. Let's all say it. Can we say it together?
Sure,
Will you lead us?
sure.
Okay.
I have always been joyous this day. I am a
And a
blessed
blessed
being.
being. Woo! Makes me want to shoot my hands up. I love that. Before interviewing you, this is still really a new thing. This is the first time I'm having a summit. I was nervous and I could see my body was like very old stuff was coming up for me. I could feel myself kind of nervous in the stomach. My body was kind of collapsing a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is not the space I can be in if I'm going to be talking to Cynthia James. I just can't. So I had to do some of the stuff that you're talking about. I had to move my body. I had to remind myself that of my power, of the things that I have overcome in my own life, reminded myself. And I'm like, and Cynthia, she's another person like you.
Exactly.
And then
Well, and
both,
you got called to do this. I mean, there was a calling for you to do this. And so when you have a calling, there's a reason. And anyone who says yes to that calling is in alignment with you.
right. And I called in all my light support. Come on in. You get in here. And I know that Cynthia's got hers and they're coming too. Okay. So tools for freedom. So you said you got to have tools. And we've talked about a couple tools. Are there any other tools you want to talk about here for freedom?
Yeah, I think, one of the gifts I'm going to give the people of your summit are called the 7 gifts of freedom, right? And I want to, and what I want to say about them is that every aspect of life, it starts with the story. We all have a story. It's all been important, but the important thing is, like, does the story run you, or do you use it as a tool for transformation? And what I say with people is like, use your story as a tool to transcend old ways of being and to rewrite the story so that there's something new that wants to come in. So that's the first one. It's like bring your conscious awareness to the story and then begin to shift it. And then the second one is like, find your voice. You're an original. There's nobody like you on the planet. So finding who you are and who you come here to be and how you want to express, it will be original because there's not another you. So find your voice. It's like some people, that's a really difficult one because we've been, shut down for various and sundry reasons, especially women on the planet. We were still property in the early 1900s. So finding our voices and standing, how to stand up for ourselves, bring our gifts and our light is essential because we're necessary. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. So then the third one is like connect the mind and the body. The way in which our culture works, it's like from the neck up. It's like think, figure. But you have a body, and the body has a language, and that body, when that's in tune, then the mind and the body are in sync, and the heart, which is intelligent, everything starts to flow. And so you start to listen because your body starts to give you indicators when something is out of sync, so you want to learn how to have those things in the flow and the fluidity of light itself, right? Then the next one is like, and this is a big one for me, it's like the surrender of secrets. Secrets are toxic. They hold us hostage, and a lot of us, carry a lot of shame. Brene Brown talks about this a lot. It's like, but I want to say to you, there's nothing you've ever done. There's nothing that's ever happened to you that needs to be a secret. There's nothing you need to be ashamed of. It took me a very long time to talk about my childhood because I was ashamed.
Yeah.
But what I want you to know is like, there's no need for those secrets. They just hold you hostage. You don't have to go out and, announce to the world everything, but there's no need for you to carry that weight for one more minute because you're important. And what happened to you, for whatever reason, at some point in time will be a gift to another. The next one is forgiveness. And I guess I have a little bit of a different take on forgiveness. I really believe that forgiveness, that from the universe, from the spiritual point of view, there's nothing to forgive. Because the universe just sees energy and information. But that doesn't mean you don't have crappy experiences or hurtful things. But your perception of it is what fuels your life. If you see yourself as a victim, if you see yourself as non-supported, if you see yourself as not valuable, then that's how you act, and that's the energy you transmit, and then that is what you bring into you. But if you can start to understand that you're forgiving judgments of yourself and others, you're not letting them off the hook. You're just letting them go. You're not carrying them around for your entire life. I carried my stepfather for many, many, many years, because of what happened. And then all of a sudden I realized that he was off the planet and I was still hooked into him. And it's like, so I had to forgive the judgments of him and his treatment, but also that I did some of the same things to myself. I abused myself. I didn't honor myself. I didn't acknowledge myself. I didn't value myself. And so forgiveness for me is letting go of those judgments. And then the next thing is to reclaim yourself. I feel like we are all masterpieces in the making. So we get to reclaim that. And we do that by my last thing, which is to take care of ourselves. You are the most important person in your life. We're told that we're supposed to take care of other people first. It's upside down. You take care of you take care of your body, your mind, your spirit, and then you have more energy to give and to be in high service. And so, I know that I said a lot there, but I just want you to know that your presence here on this planet at this time is because there's no one else that can do what you came to do.
It makes me want to cry just taking that in, it's so beautiful. And I'm sure that the people who have found their way to you, Cynthia James, just feel so blessed because you have so much beauty. You just radiate beauty and love and healing. And I'm so glad that I can receive it myself as we talk right now. So you've got these beautiful 8 tools for freedom. It's almost like an 8-step program.
It's 7. Yeah, it's 7
it's 7.
steps.
7 steps.
Yeah. Yeah, and I, in the gift that I will give, I mean, it will talk people through them, and then and then if they want to go deeper, my book, What Will Set You Free, can help them because they kind of come from that book. But yeah, I think they give you steps, because sometimes we need steps. It's like we're not just going to like have enlightenment overnight.
Yep. Comes back to creating new neural pathways and practice. And as I was listening to you, it strikes me too, it's like the more we practice becoming aware of ourselves in our bodies and in our minds and in our hearts, if we have an active practice, then the more we can begin to see these patternings that hold us small, that keep us unfree. It's like that piece it seems like it's the foundation for all of it to me.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't have said it better.
Okay. Well, maybe you could have, but I just got there ahead of you. Okay, so you have already mentioned the free gift that you'll be offering. And that, for folks who are here today, you will find that link right below this video. So you just click on it and you'll know just what to do. It'll be very clear. Before we go, I'm wondering if there's any final wisdom that you feel is important for us to take away from our shared time together.
I guess what I want people to know is that you came encoded with greatness. You came encoded with brilliance and power and light and dreams and desires. And those dreams and desires that live within you, I guarantee you there is a delivery system. You can trust it. And so there is no way to fail. So just keep moving, commit to yourself, love yourself, honor yourself, and ask others to do the same because you deserve it.
Wonderful. All right. So Cynthia, one more time, you've offered us so much. Thank you so much for being part of our summit.
Thank you, Marcy, and thank you for all the beautiful things you do.